Hey,
Hello.
everybody! Welcome to the Outcast. Today we're going to be discussing how we know what we know.
Let me do you one better. Does our past affect our knowledge to this day?
What a great question, Sayyid. Let's get right into it then, I guess. Hell yeah.
Let's
Start
start
off.
off. So I feel that the past is very important to how we shape our knowledge today. Because if you think about it, we spend when we are newborn, when we're babies, our brain is fresh. It can recall anything we say to it. And when we are given knowledge, say for example how to count, we remember it to this day. But if we're not taught how to count, some people do not know how to count. Some people do not know their ABCs because they were never taught. Would you guys agree?
I agree. But let's move away from the past of our lives and towards the history. Because if you're talking about how does the past shape our future and our knowledge and understanding, it is fundamental to understand our history. Because, for example, the camera we're using today was invented by an Arabian scholar back 1,000 years ago. We build on these principles. Without the past we have today, we won't be able to understand the things we have nowadays because we build on those fundamentals.
Understood.
Yeah, it's a lot of our knowledge currently is based on past experiences of our other scholars, our ancestors, who actually sat down and figured out how they can use their past knowledge to create something new for the future, for their generation and the future. So everything is basically like a staircase. It always goes up. With every piece of knowledge and evidence, we just increase our innovation. And that's how we can gain knowledge.
Very well said, Armin. Very philosophical. But we also need to understand, even like a staircase, it also is our foundation. Without a strong history and a rich history behind us, we have nothing to build upon. That's why Dubai is so successful, for example. They build on their knowledge.
Yeah.
They learn from other people, and from there they keep on building. Unlike some countries like America, for example, they keep on going back to their mistakes. They don't use their history to learn.
Pakistan is another example.
Okay, elaborate on it.
So yes, again, as I say that Pakistan is another example because the state Pakistan is in right now of lots of corrupt politicians has been going on for a really long time. And Pakistan has suffered the consequences of these corrupt politicians, but still haven't changed anything. But I also feel like the corrupt politicians are themselves, like how do I say that? They themselves are not learning from their mistakes as well, because they use their corruption to win in elections, therefore digging a bigger hole for the country, and then the deeper they go, the harder it is to get out of that hole.
Because they can't learn from their past mistakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And politics, especially corrupt politics, is just speaking.
Out of all the time, we were doing so good.
Moving away from politics, this is gonna get us cancelled 100%. Let's move away from that. Right, back to knowledge.
Yeah.
Please.
How did it shape us as human beings? I'll give you personal experience. When coming to school every day for the past grueling 15 years of my life, I've learned a lot. I've picked up on new skills, new abilities, friends along the way. But how does history help me personally? And how does it expand me and create a better knowledge and understanding? A very simple example is our understanding of knowledge itself. When we come to school at a young age, we come here to learn, to broaden our perspective of the world. Without these fundamental building blocks, you're never going to be able to fully develop our mindset and become the IB learners we are today. Because the course MYP, PYP has created those foundations and those building blocks for us to build upon. That's why we're so successful in TOK and CAS.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. Of course we are.
Yeah.
I don't
Armin, what for you? Did you have any personal experiences on how the history has helped you grow as a person?
Knowledge as a whole is experience. For me, at least, I define it as experience because, of course, you can gain new knowledge by trying to innovate and trying to find something, discovering knowledge. That's a whole different topic. But how do we know what we know? What we know is basically past experiences from others and our own life and real life situations and circumstances that they actually lived in. We figure out what is going to help us grow and what is not going to help us. and that basically shapes our understanding and knowledge of our current world.
How would you say?
Yeah, so my personal experience isn't to do with school or anything. It's actually to do with gaming. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be completely honest, it's to do with gaming. And so, say for example, when you're playing a driving simulator, for example, and you continue crashing into the same place, like you start to learn the technique on how to not crash there. Say for example, braking earlier, braking later, putting speed, putting less speed, or shifting down the gears. You learn that by crashing again and again instead of trying to perfect it again and again. Crashing or doing mistakes makes you better in that field or in that task you're doing.
Couldn't we also argue that history isn't the only main component for us to grow? Because like we said, if you're driving a car, keep on crashing it, you would learn from experience. But wouldn't we also learn from researching ourselves?
Yes,
Wouldn't that be
yes.
another fundamental building block towards our goal of learning?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, of course, but you have to remember, researching, especially secondary research, is basically experiences. It's basically built on what other people tried out, and that will give you a source to find experiences for your future innovations.
Yeah, for example, they say with age comes wisdom, So if you're gonna go try to ask a elderly person, he will give you a different answer to, say, for example, a younger person. So, for example, if you're talking about how to live life the best way, the elderly person might talk about leaving your house, touching grass, basically anything to do without technology. But for example, if you talk to a younger person, say for example a teenager, they will mainly talk about say for example online chatting, playing games, investing, and more of that stuff.
Couldn't we say that history and the way we perceive it has changed? I know I'm moving a little off topic, but since we're talking about how does history shape us, hasn't how we comprehend history as a whole changed?
Yeah.
It of course has. Also, we have to look at context. For example, what Sayed said about how different generations perceive things and how different experiences they had. Maybe, in my opinion, asking for someone else's experience that is only one generation apart from us could be more helpful than asking someone who is 4 generations older than us. Because they live closer experiences to us, so they lived in a context that was closer to us.
Of course, yes. But they also would be dead the 4 generations ago.
It depends.
I can also argue that if you're, say for example, if you want to talk about studying, for example, how to study well, you will go to a person who is like 2 generations older than you, because back in the day, studying was much harder without the lack of technology, lack of outside resources, having to find your own resources by interaction, like physically interacting with the outside world instead of just typing into your computer, typing into ChatGPT, finding your answer. So that's why I feel like certain things are better to be asked by someone who's generations older instead of someone who is, say for example, maybe a year or 2 older than you, because they will have easier but less productive ways of doing things instead of the elderly people who will have more productive ways of doing it because of their lack of resources back in the day. Would you agree?
Very well said, Rahman. Of course, very well said. So just now to recap everything you've said so far, what can you conclude from this statement? How does history shape our knowledge and understanding?
I guess we can conclude it. We can divide it into parts. I think we can say that history mostly can be concluded and combined into experiences from other people and our own experiences that we will achieve in real life.
Agreed.
What about you?
Me? Well, there's many components that go into it. I can't say history by itself is predominant in our way we understand our knowledge. But however, it is a very important factor to take into account. So,
Yeah.
thanks so much for joining us in the Yapcast. We will see you in the next episode.
Yapcast.
See you later.